Hi YouTube. Assalamu alaikum. Today's video, inshallah, will be about my hijab story and how I transitioned into being a hijabi woman and how I started wearing hijab and what it feels to be a hijabi woman and what it means to me. Originally, when I had started looking into Islam, I really didn't intend to wear my hijab like all the time. I just I don't know, I just really didn't think that I would be a hijabi woman. I would have had just transitioned into being a hijabi woman as quickly as I did. So I'm just going to tell you how it happened. When I first started looking into Islam, because I started looking into Islam in the beginning of this year, and as most of you know, if you saw my other video, I took my shahada on the 20th, alhamdulillah. And before I took my shahada, and while I was still, firmly looking into Islam, I had purchased my hijab. My first two hijabs I had purchased from a website called MiddleEasternMall.com. And inshallah, I'll put the link down below. And if I don't put the link down below, then just message me, and I'll be more than happy to give it to you. So I had bought two. I had bought a pink one and a black one, a two-piece Amira hijab. And honestly, my intentions weren't to wear my hijab every day. Originally, my intentions were just to wear it if when I went to the mosque, even if it was just to get knowledge and speak to the sisters. I felt that me going to the mosque without a hijab on, even if it was just to get, gain some knowledge, it would be disrespectful. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to purchase some hijabs just so, when I decide to go to the mosque and speak to a sister, or even if, I decide to pray. I'm sorry, guys. This is a brand new hijab, so it's folded up, so I gotta fix it. But just even if it was just to pray or whatever, I was just I felt it was disrespectful for me not to have it. So I was just okay. So I purchased them online, and I was a big kid in the candy store. I was tracking it every day, and I was dying for it to come in. And then when it finally did come in, I was a kid on Christmas, and I was just ripping it apart and whatever. And I was you know what, let me try it on just to see how it looks. And from the moment that I put my hijab on, I began to cry. I'm not talking about just tears. I'm talking about bawling my eyes out, crying. And my fiance didn't understand. He's like, why are you crying? And he got a little upset. He's like, why are you crying? I don't understand. And I didn't know how to explain it. I still don't know how to explain it. It was just this feeling that I got when I saw myself in hijab. This was meant for me. You know what I mean? It may seem weird to people, but that's just the feeling that I got. I just got this strong feeling that, this is for me. I was meant to wear a hijab. And I just didn't want to take it off, honestly. I just, from that day on, at that moment, I was I don't want to take this off. I can't explain to you the feeling that I had when I put it on. I don't know how to explain it, but it was just a strong feeling that I did not want to take my hijab off. And alhamdulillah, I have not taken it off ever since, and I became a hijabi woman. And it's crazy that I became a hijabi woman before I even took my shahada, because there's a lot of women that don't, they are Muslim, and, it takes them years for them to transition into being a hijabi. And I became a hijabi before I became a Muslim. Weird. But, I can't begin to explain to you how I feel when I wear my hijab. I feel a lot of people Muslim women are oppressed and blah, 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 the hijab is oppressive, and I think that's a word. But I actually feel more liberated than anything. Like, I look back at it now, I'm like, wow, I was more oppressed before because I felt, you know, Western society, a beautiful woman is a woman with a Coca-Cola shape and a zero figure. You know what I mean? Like, I realized that, you know, in Western society, for you to get anywhere in life, as a woman, you have to show that a little extra skin. You know, like a lot of women, you know, when they go to a job interview, they'll take that extra button off their shirt, or they'll hike up their skirt just a little bit higher. You know what I mean? And I felt that, you know, I didn't have to do that anymore. I felt being beautiful was me, you know, treasuring the things that what I have. And, you know, it made me realize that, you know, I no longer have to feel that I have to have a zero figure or I have to dress like a slut or very revealing for me to get somewhere in life. No. Me being a hijabi woman makes me feel like you care about what I have to say and what's in my mind rather than what I'm offering physically. And I cannot begin to explain to you how that makes me feel. I feel, like I said before, more liberated than anything. And I would not trade me being a hijabi woman for anything in the world. Like, if anyone would tell me, oh, take your hijab off or, you know, give me an ultimatum, I'm choosing my hijab because I absolutely love my hijab. I love putting my hijab on every day. And I feel that me being a hijabi woman, I make my fiancé proud. Allah comes first. So I make Allah proud because I'm pleasing him and I'm doing what he wants me to do. And I also make my fiancé proud because he told me himself, I feel very proud. He's like, I'm very proud of you for being a hijabi woman and wearing your hijab the way that you do. My fiancé is Pakistani. So it's a big majority of Pakistani women, not even just Pakistani women, even Saudi Arabians and Afghanis, all types of Arab women and Middle Eastern women who they'll wear hijab, but they won't cover up completely. Like, they'll just, you know, wrap their scarf around and their hair will be showing, and if it falls off, they really don't care. And he tells me, I commend you for wearing your hijab the way that you do, because he was like, my sisters, being born into this religion, they don't wear the hijab like you do. And he was like, I'm very proud of you. And I felt great when he told me that. I was like, wow, thank you. But I love being a hijabi woman, and I would not change it for the world. And a lot of people, when I tell them, oh, I became a hijabi woman before I became Muslim, they're like, you know, how? Like, how did you do that when, you know, some Muslim women, it takes them years for them to get comfortable and for them to, you know, I'm not saying have the courage, but in a sense, yeah, for them to transition into that. And like I said before, the first time I put my hijab on, it was just like Allah spoke to me and told me, this is for you. And it was like, I felt like as if he was standing right next to me, and, you know, it was just this feeling that I did not want to take my hijab off, and I haven't taken my hijab off. Actually, I get more compliments now with my hijab. People come to me and tell me, mashallah, you look beautiful with your hijab on, and it is awesome. Yes, there is a lot of prejudice people, you know what I'm saying, because a lot of people see it like, oh, you know, because you have a hijab on, they automatically assume you're Middle Eastern, you know, you're from the Middle East, you're Arab or whatever. And a lot of people automatically assume that you're a terrorist. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how many dirty stares and dirty looks I get from more Latinos than anybody. And then the moment that I open my mouth and I speak Spanish, they're like, they'll give me a face, like, but they'll give me this face like, they won't give me a face like, oh, you're Latino. They'll give me a face like, oh, you're Muslim. You know what I mean? I have gotten the worst of the worst. Like, there was a time I went to the hospital with my fiance, and, you know, there's like always an intake person who comes and, like, takes your insurance information. And while I'm giving her the information, she didn't even want to look at me. Like, she was just, like, completely ignoring me. She didn't want even nothing to do with me. And I was just like, whatever. Like, it hurt my feelings. And at first, it was like, you know, I used to cry. And I didn't understand why people used to treat me that way. But with time, I was just like, I don't care. Because you can say whatever you want. The only person that may judge me is Allah. So, I don't care. As long as I'm pleasing Him, I'm happy. point blank. There was another time that I went, like, I was in a public building, like an office, and I was waiting, like, I was waiting to be seen, and I went up to the front desk, and I'm like, before I could even say anything out of my mouth, she was like, somebody's going to be with you. And I was just like, I've been here for like 3 hours waiting to see somebody, and she's, you know, she just ignored me. And then she started talking to this Hispanic lady, and they're talking or whatever, and I know that, you know, of course I can understand what you're saying, I'm Hispanic, hello. So I know that you're talking about me, and I quickly opened my mouth and I was like, excuse me, senora. And she just turned around and was just like stumped. Like, you should have, like, she went pale. She was like, you're Hispanic? And I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, idiot. Sorry, like, it gets me so frustrated sometimes, you know. But, you know, it was not even worth me going and speaking to her supervisor, because it was just like, you know what, people are going to have blind hatred no matter what, and people are going to be mean and vicious no matter what. But again, I submit to Allah, and whatever He wants me to do, whatever pleases Him, is what makes me happy. So I don't care. And like I said before, I love being a hijabi woman. And a lot of people say like, oh, hijabi women are oppressed. No. Every hijabi woman, every Muslim woman, you are gorgeous, okay? Beautiful you are. 1, because you're a Muslim woman. 2, because you're doing what Allah wants you to do, because you're pleasing Him. So as long as you're pleasing Him and you're happy within yourself, don't care what other people say. Point blank period. No one should make you feel inferior to yourself. No one should make you feel that you have to live up to a certain standard, except Allah's standards. That's it. These women in Western society, and sad to say, they worship blonde hair, blue-eyed women who have a 0 figure, showing off everything, boobs hanging out, ass, excuse my language, butt hanging out, and the whole 9. No. I'm beautiful because of the person that I am and what I have to offer mentally and emotionally, not because of what I have to offer physically. So don't ever let anybody make you feel that you're doing something wrong. You are pleasing Allah, and that's the only thing that matters. And I am so happy to be a sister in Islam. Trust me, because Islam puts women on a pedestal. We were made for man, and we are no different. We are different in some ways, but not in the ways that everyone sees. Because in the Quran, before it addresses the woman about lowering her gaze, it addresses the man. And in Western society, women are the weaker sex. I don't think so. In Islam, men are the weaker sex. Because, like I said before they address the woman about lowering her gaze, they address the man. So to me, I take that like, even if a woman's walking on the street butt naked, you are to lower your gaze and keep your modesty. And just like men should keep their modesty, us women should too. That's it. So, this is my hijab story. Kind of, in a way. It's a little weird of me rambling, but sorry. But like I said before, I love being a hijabi woman, and to all my sisters, I love you. And you are beautiful no matter what, in my eyes and everyone else's eyes, and especially in Allah's eyes. So, keep your hopes up and keep smiling, because there will be a better tomorrow, and heaven awaits you. Trust me. Inshallah. So, I hope you guys stay tuned for my next video, and I love you guys all. Assalamu alaikum, everybody.